One of the most confusing aspects of Danube Swabian genealogy is identity. Many descendants begin researching their ancestors expecting a simple answer. They ask, were my ancestors German, Hungarian, Serbian, Croatian? The answer is often all of the above and sometimes none of them. In this episode, we'll explore why Danube Swabian identity was so complex, how people identified themselves during different historical periods, and why genealogists must be careful when interpreting ethnic labels found in records. Unlike many ethnic groups, the Danube Swabians did not originate from a single homeland. Their ancestors came from dozens of German-speaking regions including Swabia, Bavaria, Alsace, Lorraine, Austria, and Rhineland territories. After arriving in southeastern Europe during the 17th century, these settlers developed a distinct identity over generations. By the 1800s, many Danube Swabians had never seen Germany and often had little connection to the German states from which their ancestors originated. They became a frontier people, a unique ethnic community shaped by the lands where they settled. One of the biggest genealogy mistakes is applying modern national identities to historical populations. A person could spend their entire life in the same village, and yet officially live in 5 or 6 different countries. The borders moved, the people often did not. When descendants discover an ancestor was born in Hungary, they may assume the ancestor was ethnically Hungarian. That is not necessarily true. The ancestor may have spoken German at home, attended a German church, married within a German community, and considered themselves German despite living within the Kingdom of Hungary. Modern societies often equate language with ethnicity. Historically, things were far more complicated. A Danube Swabian farmer in Bačka might speak German to family, conduct business in Hungarian, trade with Serbian neighbors, and attend services recorded in Latin. Multilingualism was normal. Just because an ancestor appears in Hungarian language records does not mean they were ethnically Hungarian. Likewise, a Serbian language record does not automatically indicate Serbian ancestry. Before the 19th century, many people identified themselves primarily through religion, local community, or loyalty to a ruler. Nationalism changed that. Governments increasingly wanted citizens categorized into specific ethnic groups. People who had lived peacefully among multiple cultures for generations suddenly found themselves pressured to choose a national identity. This pressure would dramatically affect census records, school systems, military service, and later political conflicts. After the formation of Austria-Hungary in 1867, Hungarian authorities pursued policies known as majorization. The goal was to strengthen Hungarian national identity throughout the kingdom. Some Danube Swabians resisted. Others embraced Hungarian culture. Many adopted Hungarian spellings of surnames or used Hungarian forms of their names in official records. This creates challenges for genealogists because a family may appear German in one generation and Hungarian in the next, while remaining biologically the same family. When genealogists encounter census records, it is critical to understand what was actually being measured. Some censuses recorded mother tongue, others recorded nationality, others recorded citizenship, others recorded ethnicity. These categories are not interchangeable. A German-speaking farmer might be counted as a Hungarian citizen, a German speaker, a Roman Catholic, and a resident of Bačka County, all at the same time? Understanding the census methodology is just as important as reading the record itself. Identity was often fluid even within a single family. Mixed marriages were common. Cultural assimilation occurred gradually. You may find siblings who later identified differently. One branch of a family might emphasize German heritage. Another branch might embrace Hungarian identity. Both are valid historical realities. Genealogists must avoid forcing ancestors into rigid modern categories. The collapse of Austria-Hungary created new national borders across Central Europe. Millions of people woke up citizens of entirely new countries. Their ethnicity did not change. Their citizenship did? This distinction is one of the most important concepts for descendants researching Danube Swabian families. Citizenship and ethnicity are not the same thing. The Second World War transformed ethnic identity into a matter of political importance. Many Danube Swabians were classified as ethnic Germans regardless of how they personally viewed themselves. After the war, collective punishment often treated all ethnic Germans as collaborators. This oversimplification ignored the tremendous diversity that existed within Danube Swabian communities. Understanding this complexity is essential when researching wartime records. This scenario is extremely common. Researchers often believe they have found multiple individuals when they are actually looking at one person. Different governments recorded identity differently. Different officials used different categories. Different family members answered questions differently. The apparent contradictions are often clues that reveal the historical circumstances surrounding your ancestor's life. One of the great tragedies of the 20th century was the loss of many unique Danube Swabian communities. War, expulsion, migration, and assimilation erased much of the cultural landscape that existed for nearly 200 years. Today, descendants often inherit only fragments: a surname, a photograph, a church record, a family story. Genealogy helps recover pieces of that forgotten identity. The best genealogists approach ethnicity with curiosity rather than assumptions. Historical identity is often layered. An ancestor might simultaneously be ethnically German, a citizen of Hungary, a resident of modern Serbia, Roman Catholic, a speaker of multiple languages. Each label tells part of the story, but none tells the entire story. The Danube Swabians remind us that identity is rarely simple. They were frontier settlers who lived between cultures, languages, and nations. For genealogists, their story provides an important lesson. Records do not merely tell us where our ancestors lived. They reveal how people understood themselves in a changing world. The challenge is learning to see beyond modern labels and understand our ancestors on their own terms. That perspective often leads to a richer and more accurate family history.